Hello, welcome to Glamcare Academy. I'm so excited to be talking to you people today. I am excited about my business. I'm excited about the different skills that I am starting to explore full time, not just side hustle anymore, but making it my main hustle. One of the things I'm trying to do now is actually get a space to be able to carry out my skills. I started out during the whole doing the side hustle. It was mobile for me. I'm still doing that. I offer that for a premium fee. I'm actually going to talk about that in probably my next video, but in another video, how I do my pricing. So if I'm providing mobile skills for a premium fee, what I want to talk about today is, again, someone DM'd me in my Instagram, Glamcare Academy, that why did I pick aesthetics, which I have talked about. I picked aesthetics. It started with me going to get my lashes. This was, I think, 2017. How many years ago? Is it 4 or 5? And so because I do wear false lashes, and I thought, so there was someone I was working with, and she had this beautiful, gorgeous lashes. And I'm like, oh, I like that. Are those the strips? She's like, no, it's the single. I'm like, I've done that in the past. Let me try it again. So she told me to go to this friend of hers, which I did, and only to find out that she was an LPN. She was a nurse. I'm like, oh my God, do you do this in your work? She's like, yes, but now this is all I'm doing. And I'm like, that's interesting. But then I wasn't even thinking the word aesthetics. I just thought, okay, how can I be this? Because I didn't think as a nurse I could do it. I thought it was only for cosmetologists or estheticians. So I started to research, and I found that, oh no, I can do it. And so I went for training, and then I got trained, and I'm like, okay, let me start practicing. So I practice with my daughters, friends, colleagues, things like that. Once in a while I got comfortable, and then I would do it on the down low, meaning I had a job. Okay, so it wasn't that I wasn't sure to go into full force. I don't think I had enough interest in just lashing alone to go in full force. I think that's what it was. And then aside from that, I really didn't have the support I needed, because again, if you're going to be going into something like this, you're still going to have to pay bills, right? It doesn't matter that you have a husband, you have a wife, you have, no. You have to be on the same page. So it was like, you're a nurse. What is this lashing thing? So, however, I started to research. And then, of course, I still have my pain that is dealing, still there. Like, okay, I can keep pushing this card. It's not working. What else can I do? And so I started to research, and then I started watching. Okay, if you don't know YouTube by now, please go onto YouTube, and let that be your first university. Okay, it's actually open university. You can learn as little and as much as you want. The only thing is, some people hype and lie, much like regular physical world. You're just gonna have to pick which one you believe. Okay, so but at least you do get information. Okay, so that's when the word aesthetic nursing, having a specialty, being a nurse and having a specialty in aesthetics started floating around. I'm like, oh, that's a thing. And then looking at services that I can do, and I'm like, oh, I like this. Oh, I like this. So my thing is, one of the things that I really, really want to do, and I'm going into training for that, is IV hydration. For me, see, aesthetics is more medical for me, where I'm a nurse, I'm a registered nurse, but I want to keep in the medical part of aesthetics. Does that make sense? So I want to have a med spa. So for those of you wanting to have a med spa, so I've kind of started a mini med spa, if you will, and hopefully, it's going to get bigger. I want it to get bigger. We all want to get bigger. We all want to make those 6 figures. Okay. So in this, I didn't want to ramble on, because I don't like those videos that just keep rambling. I don't want to be a part of that. So what I'm going to talk about today, someone wrote to me and said, what is the fastest way? Why did I pick aesthetics? That's what I did. So I gave you background there. And then what is the fastest way? This person actually put, what are the fastest way to make six figures? As a nurse, you talk about nurse, you're a nurse. And I'm grateful this person reached out to me. Clearly they think that I can help. So I'm going to share it. And one way I think for me, in my research and in my experience to make money is teaching. Does that make sense? I think we as nurses, and this is not only just for nursing, you can teach. You can teach everybody. There's nothing you cannot teach. I've had videos talking about what are the skills that you have. Go ahead and sell those skills. I am a big proponent of that. I tell my students, those that I'm coaching, those that I'm tutoring, those I'm teaching, I use those words differently because there are those that I tutor, which I do one-on-one tutoring. There are those that I'm coaching. It's not just more holistically where it's not just about it's career advisements, picking, studying tips and things like that. So I told that is like my coaching. I actually do have that. And then I have teaching as in teaching a classroom. Okay, CNA students actually do that. So that's why I kind of use those different words to differentiate them. But I think teaching a skill is something that you can scale up to actually make six figures. Okay, and then you might ask me, what, huh? How many teachers make six figures? Well, we're not talking old style teaching. We're talking teaching that... Let's talk about you being a professional nurse or even a CNA, because you as a CNA, there's certain things that, okay, let's pick a CNA of mine who, she came to my class and she said she does hair braiding and what have you. And that's something she's always wanted to do. And I'm like, okay, fine. She's like, I braid hair. I don't get support from my husband. And I think I've shared this with you before. She's okay with me sharing. I'm not saying her name. And she's like, I really need to show to my husband that this is something that is good. I'm just tired. I don't want to kill myself doing CNA work. I love it. I love my patients, but the money's trickling in. I really want to make money. So I told her, what you can do is you're already making the hair. The average hair, when she makes hair, let's just say the average, work with me here, people. The average is $150 for braiding. You all know if you braid hair, that is small money. So I'm actually being very, very, I don't think I'm very realistic right now when I say $150. Okay, but let's just take 150, okay, because we spend upwards of 200 to do braids. Okay, so she's working out of her home and she does this braids. She has a minimum. Again, I talked to her because I'm actually coaching her, so let me be open there. Okay, she does she was getting like 8, no, she was having like 7, so now we have 10 patients, so a minimum of 10 patients, 10 clients a day. She starts as early as 6 in the morning. Sometimes she doesn't finish till about probably about 9 p.m. So yes, it's more than 12 hours a day. Okay, but then she's starting. We're trying to create something that would work, where eventually she's going to get to a point where she doesn't have to work every day. However, so that's 150 times 10. You do your calculations there. How many places? So now where we are, because again, I coach people on business. I do. It's so funny. I was just doing this, but now it's something I'm doing. Yeah, stumbled into it, I guess. So now what we're doing is teach people. She doesn't want to come on YouTube. She doesn't want to show her face. I'm like, you don't have to show your face. Show your work while you're doing it. Teach people how to braid. Teach people how to open up a business of braiding. Teaching. She's like, oh my God, I didn't think of this. Teaching. that is something you can do. I don't know if it's probably on YouTube. There's nothing that's not on YouTube. So I'm sure this is not even new. I've not checked it. I don't know. But this is something I just talked to her over the weekend. And she's now thinking of how to come up with courses and also teachings online about how not only doing the braiding, teaching people how to braid, okay, because not everyone knows how to braid, and also teaching how to start the business. Teaching, I think, is one way you can scale up to having 6 figures, okay? That's one, okay? That's one I'm actually actively working on. I'm hoping, I'm praying, I know it's going to work because she's really fired up. So another thing you can do as a nurse. So a lot of us registered nurses can teach CPR. CPR, BLS, ACLS, and it's not so tough to start up, you know? Teach that. Teach. You can start. I have a friend who's an LPN. She teaches CPR. She teaches, there's something else, first aid CPR, there's something else she's added to it. And she goes around schools, she goes around businesses and in the community, and she's making her money. She's making her money. Again, I'm trying to talk her into teach people how to start this business. Does that make sense? Teach people how to go about, because there are nurses, there are LPNs, LVNs, RNs, and even CNAs who want to do business or want to have something like this. They don't know how to. So it's interesting that I'm saying this because another thing to teach, and I've been told this over and over again, I've been asked to do this, is teach people how to start a CNA school. I teach in a CNA school. I know how to start a CNA school. I can put people through that. I can, you know, so I don't know. Teaching is good. People will pay you money to teach them. So I have done a video where I'd asked you to look inward, see what your skills are and teach those skills. So this person wrote to me and said, how can you make 6 figures? You know, teaching is one big thing. Teaching is one big thing. Go on teaching. Ebooks is part of teaching. Making webinars is part of teaching. Having an online course and an e-course online is part of teaching. That's something I'm not just saying, it's something I'm starting. I already did an ebook for CNA. That's for Nurse Amy Academy. And I want to go ahead and scale that. I'm going to have my videos up. People have been like, where are your videos? I even had someone write to me from a nursing home saying, I use your videos to teach. But it would be nice if we can get out of the YouTube environment, if we just have an e-course of your videos. I'm like, if that isn't a sign, I don't know what is. So teaching, teach your skills, teach that thing you have, okay? You know what, I'm gonna do a part 2 of this. I really am, because I don't want this video to be too long. So let's go on and talk more about teaching. So please come back for the part 2 of teaching and how to scale it up to 6 figures, okay? Catch you in the next video.